Hello, everyone. My name is Todd Wall, and welcome to Communication Makeover, where we believe that intentional communication will lead to the breakthrough that you're looking for, both in your business and in your life. So, we started with the problem of feeling invisible as a communicator, and then this Wilson method with Larry Wilson, we're talking about it's about technique. It's not a mystical cosmic algorithm for you to figure out, or this label that's being thrown out so often now. The here's my hack on this and my hack on that. It's just become a buzzword. That word is just a buzzword. All it is. It's about technique, he says. It's not some mystical mystery that's out there on how to communicate. It's if you do this, then this occurs. It's very formulaic, in fact, when you actually break down the individual elements. Let me bring on Deirdre really quick. Deirdre, what are you noticing so far in this conversation of what's being uncovering? Because I know you love talking about the facial affect and the impacts of nonverbals.
I do. And the example that Larry gave with Timothy Hutton
Mm-hmm.
and in the restaurant, just that ability to make eye contact and to have active listening. All of this we sometimes do with our face, the way we tilt our head, the way we
Mm-hmm.
look at somebody. And I'm really looking forward to hearing more from Larry because I bet you he'll give us a technique to help.
Absolutely. Yeah, because she felt seen, which made
Hmm.
him seen. He became seen by making her feel seen. So
Exactly.
I love that, just the reciprocal nature of that. If you want to be visible, make other people feel visible. So all right, let's jump right into it. Here we go, Deirdre.
Larry, I'm enjoying this conversation so much. This connection is strong. Todd was just saying to make somebody feel seen, you feel seen, that's the connection. I bet there's a facial affect technique that you could share with us. Maybe just one.
Sure. I'll give you a very simple one. After all, this is communication makeover. So let's do a makeover with your audience right now. They can
Excellent.
all do this. And I don't know if you ever solicit them sending you videos or things, but they might send you some really interesting stuff after they've been practicing this. This was, I should tell you, this particular skill was invented by my 4-year-old son. And it is the exercise we call Eggs Benedict. Now, when my kid was 4 years old, I don't know where he heard the word Eggs Benedict, but he certainly didn't know what it was. But we would play this game where he would stand in front of the bathroom mirror and I would suggest different feelings or emotions. And then he would say the words Eggs Benedict with that particular emotion. Now, this was so mind-blowing for me, also hilarious, but because I'd mentioned before, the Academy Award-winning actor Carl Malden told me almost the exact same idea. He said, you have to learn your material so well that you don't think about it. If you're using the words eggs Benedict, there's nothing to think about. It's just almost like nonsense syllables. But what I would suggest to your people watching this, get a few note cards or post-it notes or something and write half a dozen different emotions or states of mind. uh, Angry, happy, um, uh, love sodden, um, surprised, suspicious, all these different things. Then shuffle those up. Now, I can't emphasize enough, I would definitely record yourself on your phone doing this exercise because the results will blow your mind. Just shuffle those up and take one at random. And whatever one you come up, you're going to say Eggs Benedict, but embodying that. So when my 4-year-old, when I'd say to him, suspicious, and he'd go, Eggs Benedict. And well, I'm like you did. I've
I
fallen down
love
on the floor
it.
laughing. And then I'd say, um, delirious with joy. And he'd say, Eggs Benedict. And then I'd say, filled with rage. And he'd say, Eggs Benedict. Right. Well, it was only years later I realized how brilliant this was on his part because it allows us to experiment. And
with our
when you're
face.
not when you're not used to using it, and that's why I want you to record this, you'll see yourself going, Eggs Benedict, Eggs Benedict, Eggs Benedict, and nothing is coming off. I want you to let these feelings come through your facial affect. And sometimes the things I ask people to do in training sound silly, and people are sometimes embarrassed to do them. Well, the advantage of doing this online is no one will ever see what you're doing. Unless, of course, you amaze yourself with the difference that you record on your phone. You might want to send copies of these to Deirdre and Todd because
We
uh,
can see
I,
them.
well, some of my students, I've gotten some stuff that was absolutely incredible, just incredible. We're not trying to be actors. We're not trying to impress anyone. We're not trying to do anything. We're trying to use our faces and all these muscles that we have in our faces, in our mouths and lips and cheeks and eyes and all. I know that you, Deirdre, have studied this stuff intensely. So because I know you referenced earlier micro expressions,
Yes.
and these are real. These are very, very real. We get so much information semiotically. It's very much like a fire hose of information coming at us. And it may be something as small as just a squint. Or I'll tell you I'll tell you something else. I hope I don't run too long for you here. For years I've worked in casinos as a performer. And so I only work like an hour a night, so I had plenty of free time. So I would spend that time frequently at the poker table playing poker. And I was playing poker with people who were so much better than me. And they just sort of, I think they took pity on me. And frequently they would, pull me aside and they go, "You really don't get what's going on." I go, "Yes, I do." And they go, "No, you really don't." And they would give me some pointers, and my game got much better, improved. Technique, just practicing, got better. And there was a guy that I won't name which casino it is in Las Vegas, but a very big famous casino, who played a lot of poker there. And I was told, I don't know if this is true, but I was told that he was an FBI uh, interrogator. I can only tell you anyway. And he sort of buttoned down. He's always in a suit and tie. Anyway, one night I was at a table he was playing at, and there was a gigantic thing going on. And he got into a raising war in a hand with another player, and there was stacks of chips in the middle of the table, and everyone else had dropped out. And the very final bet, it was Texas Hold'em, his opponent pushed all his chips in. And this guy who supposedly was an FBI interrogator looked at him and said, "Wow," and just started talking to him for what seemed like a long time. Now, maybe it was a minute and a half, but it sure seemed like a long time. And then finally, the FBI guy said, "Okay, I call," and pushed his money in, and the other guy
Went
threw his
all in.
hand away. Right. The other guy forfeited his hand. Clearly, he was bluffing. And the FBI guy won this huge
Was
pot. And when he
reading
got up
his
from the
face.
table, well, I wanted to find out what the heck had gone. So I chased after him and said, "You have to tell me what," he said. "You didn't see what happened?" I said, "No, I didn't see anything." He said, I just kept talking, trying to get him to smile. I said, "You did?" He goes, "Yeah." He said, "An authentic smile is symmetrical. It's even."
Right.
He said, "When people try to smile, it's asymmetrical. It's kind of
It's
lopsided and weird."
incongruent. Or one side goes up quicker than the other side.
Yes,
And you
exactly.
can see it.
And He said, I was trying to get that guy to smile, and then I got this horrible lopsided smile from him, so I knew he was lying. He was bluffing.
Oh my
And
gosh,
I thought,
that's
I
such
was
an
like,
interesting example. Do
oh
you
my
know how you
God.
could use this in business? And I know that's what
Yeah,
you're going to talk about next, Larry.
yeah,
I'm going to
sure.
bring Todd back in and just
Okay,
hang on for a second.
okay.
Eggs Benedict, that was good.
Eggs Benedict.
What jumped out to you in that piece there?
Well, first of all, I thought that his son at age 4 is brilliant for coming up with that, and also from Carl Malden. But I think that whole exercise, we don't realize how much we can use our faces as a
Mm-hmm.
way to ease people, as a way to excite people. That's the connection. So using those muscles and seeing them gives us more control. But I really loved his example of the casino. I thought that
Oh,
was brilliant.
that was brilliant because that shows us the reverse order, what we're actually telling other people. I I may be thinking that I'm portraying happiness, but if I'm scowled and I'm constantly frowning, I may not realize what's going on in my face. In fact, my wife was picking out a dress for my daughter's wedding, and of course, every dress that she tried on, it just wasn't right. And every time she came out of the dressing room, just this look on her face. And I said, honey, I love that dress right there. Try first fixing your face, and then let's look at it again. And so I made her walk out of the room and come back on with a smile on her face, and she loved the dress. The dress looked completely different.
See what a real smile can do.
It really does. All right. I can't wait for the next segment to get further into this. All right, everybody, Eggs Benedict. And by that, I mean we're going to be right back, so stick with us.